Hi everyone, my name is Cheryl and this is my Happy Handcraft Studio. Welcome. Welcome back to all my floss friends. It's great to be with you again. I'm sorry that I was away for a while. And to any new viewers, welcome. I'm a multi-crafter and I live in the foothills of Alberta near the Rocky Mountains. So it's been over a month. I really didn't mean for it to be so long, but if you've been following my channel, you know that I was preparing for a major charity event, and I'll talk more about that later, but it was wonderful. I'm also taking part in a semi-sane Facebook challenge this month called May Madness, and there's a lot of stitching, and so I do have a lot to show. It feels like I've touched almost every project over the last few weeks, and so I'm going to be showing you the stitching I've done. I'm going to show you a piece of Stitching Kindness that I received. I'm going to talk about our charity event, and I'm going to show you some of my acquisitions at the Fabric and Yarn sale. I also have some bags that I made and a new bag pattern from the Ujama Baguettes that you can head out and look at. All right, so at my last video, I was asking for your advice on which Prairie Schooler Santa to start next. And it wasn't a surprise, knowing the people who watch this FlossTube, that this would be the popular choice. So my next Prairie Schooler Santa will be the 2006, and I'm looking forward to that. Thank you for everyone who voted. That was great. Okay, so I'm going to talk about finishes that I've done first of all. So I'm working on the Jeanette Douglas sal. It's her mini bouquet sal. And these I'm going to be finishing all individually, so that's why they're kind of arranged like this. But this was the May bouquet. And I think it's just beautiful. It's one of my favorites so far. I really love that. So this is a free sal. You can join at any time. I'm thinking this would be great for just little gifts for people, or if you were going to a stitchy conference and needed a swap item, that would be great. So this is just on the Charlescraft even weave tea dyed linen, 28 count. And as much as possible, I'm using the DMC conversion that Jeanette Douglas has. All right. So another finish that I had was Boo. See it there? And Boo is from Luminous Fiber Arts, Misty Purcell. And there's also one called Who with an owl that I'll be doing as well. It's going to be on this same piece of linen. And this is a 16 count Aida in platinum. Just two colors, lots of block stitching, which is great. So I won't be finishing this one fully until I have the other one completed. And then I'll do them both the same. Some fully finished items. I love this little guy. This is a little Santa that I did. And this was from an old hardcover book that I found. It's called Cross Stitch Gifts. It's from 1993. And I don't know where the book is anymore, but I had a photocopy of what the page looked like. So you can see I did this little one right here. But these are really sweet. So they're done on red Aida. So the only stitching is just the stitches that aren't red. So they could actually be quite a quick stitch up. And to figure out how to do this, I followed Vonna Pfeiffer, Twisted Stitcher. She had her stand-up tutorial. Now, when she does it, she had like an edging that she put in, and I didn't bother. I just kept it plain. It's just a sweet little thing. It'll be nice to sit on a shelf at Christmas. So I really, really like that. Santa Cone was called. Santa Cones. And then another finish I have is this one. It feels nice. So this one is called Spring 1881, and it is from Twin Peak Primitives. It was in the 2020 Punch Needle and Primitive Stitching magazine. And I personalized this with my birth year because I was born on the Saturday before Easter. And so this is the Easter Bunny delivering me. So I didn't have it done quite before Easter, but I have it now for the future. And I like the fabric on the back. This was a piece of fabric that I didn't know what to do with in quilting, and so it made a great backing for this piece. This linen, yeah, I don't know. It was an unknown piece. It's very slubby, but I like the primitive look of it. All right. I think right now I'll show you a piece of stitching kindness I received. So at our sale in the fall, different friends that I have through the charity and through my quilt guild, they donate things. And one of the makers always makes these primitive pieces. And in the last while, she's had sort of black cats because it's right before Halloween, and I love them. But I never seem to be there in time to purchase one. I mean, I'm working the sale from setup to pull down, but I don't tend to get over there until, it's in a different section, so I don't get there in time to purchase any. And so, recently I was telling her this, that I love them, but I haven't been able to get one. So I have a piece of Stitchy Kindness. I love it. So this is all wool felt, on wool felt, and then with hand stitching. So I love it. I think it's just a great piece. And so now I have my cap for Halloween. It's perfect. I'm so thankful for the people in my circle of friends. They're wonderful. Okay, so stitching. Oh, maybe I'll show you my board. People who followed me for a long time, they know that for me, 10 items is perfect. Well, and I had way more because at Christmas time, I started a whole bunch of projects to get me through the season. And so now I'm doing really well. I have 14 current projects, so I think that's great. And when I look at this, I see that I forgot to show you one of my other fully finished items, and I'll do that right now, because if you followed me for a while, this has been on the books for a long time. And this is 100 Owls by Owl Forest Embroidery. So I've had it done for a while. I finished it in 2021, but wasn't able to find a frame. I like to frame my own pieces. And so I finally did get this completed. And I love it. I love all the birds. So the frame. The frame was holding another piece of stitching. Now the frame when I bought it was peach, and I've since painted it this pewter color. I just go over it with a pewter acrylic. But this is what was in the frame, and it's so beautiful. Now I was hoping when I took it out of the frame that I'd be able to incorporate this piece into a bag or a quilt or something, but it's really glued in here. So I guess I'll just display it as is in my sewing room. So I got a frame and I got a beautiful piece of stitch work as well. All right. So for stitching, one of the things I work on almost daily is my temperature library. So Temperature Library is by Christie's Corner. It's in Etsy. And the books, each book is a day. So this is May. The main color shows the high temperature and the little bands show the low temperature. And then I try to add some different parts. So this was my big birthday there with a candle. So yeah, this is growing along really well. Happy with that. And then another piece that I've been working on for months is called Noble Companions. And Noble Companions is from a leisure arts book from 1991 called Christmas Portraits. I love that one. And then the next one is Dancer. And Dancer is Barbara Anna Designs. This was 2021 Punch Needle and Primitive Stitching Magazine. This is done on a 32 count charcoal Ugana. I just love this fabric. It is just a wonderful fabric to work with. And then another one, this is my oldest whip, but it's really coming along now. And this one is called Watermelon Tourmaline. It's a Carolyn Manning design. It's on a 14 count Aida, and I'm using the called for colors. And I've been getting a lot of progress on this one recently. And the reason is it's so easy to count. I mentioned I've been working in this semi-sane Facebook group on May Madness. And there's a spinner that tells you how many stitches you're going to stitch for the day. And there have been many days where it's been 300, 400, 500 stitches. And this one is a really easy one to count because each full diamond is 40 stitches. So it's easy. And I love the colors. So it's great. So I've been getting really good progress on that one. Another one that I've been doing for May Madness because it's easy to count is this one here. This one is Real Comfort. It's a Jane Austen sampler from Modern Folk Embroidery. And this is on, again, an unknown linen that I tinted with Ritz Denim. So that's That's a good one for counting again. And I have it on the Silk app, so the counting is done for me. And then the last one I've been working on, that's a big one. And this one I'm going to call Beauty and the Beast, because it is a beauty and it is a beast. This one is the Fox and Rabbit Mystery 2022 Sal, and this was the May section right here. So I have that completed. I think this was April and this was March. The rest was January, February, and as you can see, it is still not completed. This is 360 by 360. And it's on a 32 count Belfast natural. I love it, but it's huge. But again, as I'm doing this May Madness, it's great to be able to do a box and count it, do the border and count it. So I'm enjoying that. Now I did have some smaller pieces as well that I was working on, but because I was, really trying to get stitch numbers in, these kind of got put by the wayside because they're fiddly. So this one is the Needlework Fairy. It's a Mill Hill kit, Jim Shore, and the reason this one is fiddly is that I'm working on the beading. You can see the beading there. So this one won't take long to finish once I'm not worried about counting stitches, which is dumb, I know, but it's madness. That's what it is. And then the next one is from just Cross Stitch Christmas Ornaments 2021. So it's this little piece. And again, it's fiddly, so I'll work on that one in June and finish it up. And that one is on Mystic Gray, 18 counts, Aida. And the last fiddly one is Fa La La. So it's this Mill Hill kit. And I used this as my theme piece for Magazine Monthly Challenge because it's music and it says Fa La La. And it's coming. So I'll work on that one some more. I also had 2 new starts since I saw you last. I talked about this one at the end of March, that I was going to be starting it. I believe for my birthday was going to be my start. And this is called Garden Sampler. It's a free pattern at Hirschner's. And this is on 28 count tea-dyed Irish linen. And I'm using the DMC. This is what it's going to look like. And it's always fun to do a stitch where you have different motifs. And you work motif by motif. And it builds up beautifully. So I'm looking forward to doing more on that. And then a new start for May. This was through my WhipGo. The new start was Remember by Marnik Designs. And this is on a 28 count Monaco white. So I had kind of a restart on this one. So when I was doing my lettering, my stitches just weren't pretty. It really looked chunky rather than nice smooth letters. So I tore out the letter that I had, and I've restarted, and I'm now doing it 1/1, which I don't know. You know, I'll remember this piece for a long, long time. I think what I'll do is I'll do a letter, I'll do some of the flowers, and then I'll do a letter and I'll do some flowers so that it's not too tedious, but it looks nice. So, you know, it's all about getting the final look that you want rather than just doing it the way it says. So those were my new starts. So I'm just about at the end of the month, and I'll be working through my different challenges. I'm going to show you now the things that I picked up at the Fabric and Yarn sale through the Ujamaa Grandmas in Calgary, Alberta, Canada. So every year we have a huge fabric and yarn sale, and all of the fabric, yarn, notions, patterns, books are donated. They're donated by our members. They're donated through the community. We have businesses that will donate things. We have home design companies that give us their remnants. We have car upholstery people who give us pieces of vinyl. So it's really an amazing sale. It's also amazing in that our general fabric this year sold for $1 a meter. So we had a wonderful diversified clientele. We had people who've known about us for years, and one lady said she has 3 favorite days of the year: Christmas, Halloween, and the day she comes to our fabric and yarn sale. It really did have a wonderful, exciting feeling. We also have young people coming, people brand new to different handcrafts. We have brand new yarn workers. So we sold out every crochet hook. People are into crochet. The craft area was cleaned out from, you know, crafters and school teachers. I work in the quilt area, and we have just the devoted quilters. They love being there. In the general fabrics, we have a lot of new Canadians who are often starting new businesses, and again, brand new high school students and junior high age students new to sewing, and it's the perfect place for them to get their fabric. And we had sewing machines that we sold, knitting machines, looms. You just never know what we're going to get at the sale. So I'm going to show you some of the purchases that I made. So of course I don't work in the craft area, but that's where I headed over when I had a break. And so one of the first things I picked up was this hoop. And it's just a beautiful hardwood hoop. There's no name on it, but I thought it feels nice, like it feels like a lot of stitching has happened in this hoop. So that was one of my first picks. And then of course I looked for linen, and I found this little piece. And it was from a shop in Lethbridge, Alberta that does Danish art needlework imports. This is Permin of Copenhagen, a 28 count linen. So I'm excited to use that. I love the blue color. And then I picked up quite a bit bigger piece. This is 31 by 40, a 32 count linen. So that's a really nice big piece for or something. We had lots of linen, and we were so fortunate. We had a volunteer who came in and took it all home, figured out the counts, put out the sizes. It was great. So I also like to look at kits. And I remember hearing on someone's FlossTube that you should always be working on a Teresa Wensler. Okay, like, sounds good. Well, there was a Teresa Wensler kit there. So this is the kit, and I've seen this one on other people's FlossTubes, and it is beautiful. And it is definitely kind of a once-in-a-lifetime stitch. And, you know, it seems to have everything in it. I don't even know if the linen's ever been unfolded. So I did move the needle. I'll make sure that's okay before I start. So that was a real find. Now, when your friends know that you're into stitching, they often will find you treasures as well. So one of the friends came, she said, I saw this and I thought you might like it. Well, I do love it. This is an orphan, so it's been given up, but this is a 2017 mystery sampler from Fox and Rabbit. So I'm definitely going to look at finishing that. I think it's great. I like the colors, and the colors are all here. And this I also thought was really interesting. Look at the floss holders. They're like a shell. It is different ones of these here. I've never seen these before. I don't know if any of you have seen them. And then there's this. Yeah, they're beautiful. I'm very happy to have them. So that's something exciting to be working on. And then the major purchase that I made was this lap stand. Now there's no name on it. I don't know if anybody knows who makes them, but it's beautiful. It was used at least once. I see one bit of stitching in there. You know, people often, try things and don't really like them. So I'm excited to put a piece onto this and start to use it. It's beautiful. All right, so that was stitching. Now I'm going to talk about the bags that I've made. So I'm part of the Ujama Baguettes. We are a group from our charity that works on making bag patterns that are sold on Etsy and through PayHip. We have a really good selection of patterns there now. And I finished up 2 of the bags. So this one is a Riley tote. So you've probably seen bags like this. It's a shopping bag that you can fold up. You know, it's one of these ones that's great to take on holidays with you. You know, put in your suitcase, and then you have a nice, neat bag folded up. So I finished that one. That's the Riley tote. And then our brand new pattern. This is from the Ready Set selection. This is the smallest one. This is a knit bag or a yarn bag or lunch bag, or, you know, we don't tell people how to use their bags. It has a drawstring top. And then inside mine, I have a pocket there. Now, this was one of the kind of original test patterns. Since then, we now have this in 3 sizes. So there's a small, medium, and large, ready, set, 1, 2. I'm not sure. I'll have to look at the pattern and see how they've been named. But what's great about this is it does have the handle, but the handle can just slip right out of the way for when you're knitting or crocheting. It has these front pockets that you can put some things in. Now, I did mine of the small size because I wanted to use a fat quarter set that I had picked up at Michael's with the llamas on it. And so the small, you can use, you know, a fat quarter for the front pocket, a fat quarter piece for the handle, and then this top is also one of the fat quarter pieces. And then inside there's a pocket made from the fat quarter set. So yeah, I love it. So as I was saying, the larger ones you can also make with a divider on the inside that will fold to one side or the other. For if you're into like 2-ball knitting, or, you know, like you're knitting 2 socks at the same time, there's a divider to separate your yarn. Yeah, so this is our newest pattern, and it's available on Etsy. Ready, set. And I'll put the information up about that. And then, April was so frugal in the sewing community. And so the different YouTubers who were sharing what they were making, so frugal was, you know, you used a free pattern and you tried to use fabric in your stash. Well, one of the people I was watching, they had a little purse pattern. And of course, you know, I'm all into the bags. So this was a free pattern from Below the Cow Hay. It's called Little Friend's Cat Bag. It's just a thread there. So on the actual pattern, they show this being hand embroidered. And because for me it was more just of a test, I just did it on my sewing machine. And then it has some beautiful fabric. And so with my bag making group, we're always doing challenges. And the challenge that month was to take a pattern and make it smaller. So I made a little small one as well. And this one is just Velcro. So it's like a big cat, little cat. Love those. All right. So that's everything for this month. I hope to be back much sooner. I'll try to come back right away at the beginning of June and give you an update. Thanks, everyone. Enjoy your day.